Okay, here we are. Another round with Sienna. Welcome once again. I didn't even, we're just going to roll with our last discussion on community and creating gatherings. We're working on a co-collaborative retreat, but I mean, anybody can use this information and make any size of one that they want, really. It doesn't, you could do this in your backyard, couldn't you? And you have, in fact, done that, haven't you, Sienna?
I have. I started something called the Happiness Collective back in November of 2019.
Oh,
And it
cool.
was kind of along the same concept of just bringing people together with kind of in like a shared experience of love. I mean, there was just so much. I mean, even back then, I was like, the whole world, it just seems like it was imploding. And that was before COVID. And I very much got the sense that the world was about to shut down. And I remember telling people that back in 2019. Everybody was looking at me like I was crazy, but I said the whole world's about to shut down for 2 years at a minimum. And so, yeah, I was like, how can I start bringing people together in a state of, yeah, I'm just shared experience. I mean, I think that's so needed right now. So many people are just coming at it from you got to be on this side or you got to be on this side, but it's like no, we could meet in the middle and then figure out where our differences are and learn from our differences instead of continually coming at each other's throat. So,
Yeah, the
yeah,
middle way,
yeah,
definitely. That's
the only
my,
way, really, the only
yeah.
way to produce a positive path, anyway. Um, I'm also going to try to figure out how the iPad auto corrects. So I'm bouncing
Yeah,
around a
they
lot.
have these things set up now for doing stuff like this. So it's
Yeah,
like you have like a smart camera in your iPad
doesn't
for
seem so smart when it just looks like I'm like,
I think it's trying to match us up. Like
yes,
it's trying to
too.
keep you centered.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's a lot of people trying to keep me centered right now. So I appreciate it. My iPad's trying to do it too. uh, so, yeah, I have not gotten any further with Ghost Ranch, but I do think that, um, yeah, if we could just kind of like start delving into more of like the areas that we want to focus on in retreats and, because I can start creating like little surveys. What I really like to do is with an X or whatever platform. I know X is really great with having little surveys and polls, and just say, these are the time frames we're looking at. These are the topics that we're hoping to discuss. Do you have a specialty that you would like to come and share with us at this co-op? Basically retreat. So I very, very much like the co-op, aspect of trying to plan something like this, so that people we're not hiring from the outside. We're basically bringing the skill sets from within our own collective, and I just think that
Yeah,
would be a
that's really
really
kind of
empowering experience. So
that's kind of the whole point in a way.
yeah,
Um, so you figure you're planning for your vision is for like a week long
that's what I'd
retreat,
like to do. And
7 days.
yeah, I've so many people have been reaching out to me and saying, "Oh, my uncle's got this retreat center and this and that," and I'm like, this can be multifaceted. What I'd ultimately like to do is just kind of come up with a general concept just to get people inspired, like you said, to do it on their own. You know, I see whatever retreat we put together as kind of being the masterminds of how to create a simplified process by which other people can do this at home, and especially if we do a live stream on it, and people are like, oh, this is like such a powerful thing for me.
Yeah, and come in
Um,
and join and ask questions and give feedback too. Like
yeah, and then go do it in
the
your own community.
participate in real time.
Yeah, yeah, um,
Totally.
yeah. I will say, and
Where's my
I don't
notebook and
pat
my
myself on the
pen?
back a whole lot, but in the last week, for some reason, I have had, I mean, over a dozen people reach out to me and say, Sienna, your words, your message, like you're calm through all the storms that are coming at you. Kind of like condensing like all the messages that I've been receiving, but it's like you've changed me. I feel like a different person. I feel like I can handle things better. You know, and that to me is what I'd really, I mean, I'll get teary eyed thinking about it. I'm like, that's all I'm trying to do is like, because I know the suffering that I have had to go through in my life. I know the obstacles that I've had to overcome. I'm 54 years old. You know, I have a lot of experience to try to offer people. And I think sometimes people consider that like, oh, you're saying you're better than me or you figured something. I'm like, I'm not saying anything. I don't declare to be anybody. I don't declare to know anything. I don't declare to be special. But I do know that my path has been very specific to now at this point try to figure out how I can help other people achieve some side, you know, sense of balance, higher sense of balance in their life. Because I happen to have, you know, and a lot of it is because is self-earned because I worked for this. I have a lot of balance in my life, not always, but enough so that I feel confident, you know, trying to help other people. Yeah, I'm always going to be who I am. I'm exactly who I am all the time. I don't wear different masks. I don't have different identities. So, and the people who are uncomfortable that I may trigger, I think they're coming to realize that. So, yeah, and you're the same, Joanne. You're like calm in the face of every storm, and we have this divine feminine spirit with us, and we're both moms, and it's kind of like the moms of the world need to really start looping in and looping together and changing the narrative. The moms of the world, you know,
Yeah.
just the women of the world in general. Doesn't even have to be a mom. I felt like a mom when I had cats, so
I
you
felt like
know.
a mom when I had chickens.
Yeah, right. It's just it's the
Yeah.
maternal instinct. It's the maternal
Yeah.
instinct to find, you know, some kind of way to solve the problem instead of continually
Mm-hmm.
looking for problems. You know, men
Mm-hmm.
are, I don't mean to just, you know, narrow it down to that, but men are the ones who are out slaying, you know, slaying beast and making sure that the homestead is going to be safe. And then the
Mm-hmm.
women are the ones who come together and, you know, basically create harmony, you know, for all. So,
Yeah, we're really
um,
like partnership builders,
mhm,
partnerships with animals, partnerships with nature in general, and like partnerships in our community as well.
mhm,
Yeah, I think that's really what motherhood is a big part of that. Like partnerships with the teachers, partnerships with the carpooling. Like there's
mhm.
so many relationships that you have to deal with being a mother besides just, you know, your family unit. So yeah, it could be a really interesting, oh, I might cry at this one, but have like a few circle gatherings. Like I'm gonna post that, and for I'll send you that information about this circle way, like this method of holding like a ceremony kind of thing, but where you have discussion, and it's really how you do it on how you're already doing it on your Twitter spaces, like where there's a host and you maybe have a co-host and then everybody takes their turn to share. But I would love to do a circle like of just women sharing their stories of their birth stories
Yeah.
of giving birth and yeah, beautiful sharing
Oh,
and
I
the
love
and
birth
like just
stories. I love.
yeah,
Yeah, I've
hey,
actually I've
it's
hosted
so
a space
powerful
on
when women get
natural
together and
birth.
share that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did.
And another
Home
one
birth and
about
natural birth is
yeah,
big. Is I mean, it's a really it was a popular space. There were a lot of people in that, and
yeah.
yeah, I'd love to
And
host
another
a space
good
on that.
one is natural death, actually. You know, a friend of mine, he took her, he took her mother off all of her medications and just totally quit the whole hospital thing. And she was already at home, but and just let her pass naturally without being full of drugs and in a weird space and all of that. And he wrote a really beautiful book about that experience. And yeah, that's another thing that we can discuss. But And I actually thought these would be
That's actually
fun
what happened
things
with my
to
aunt
have at
yesterday. They had
Ghost.
removed her
Yeah.
from all drugs, and yeah, she just slipped away, and she struggled towards the end. I mean, she was definitely in pain yesterday, but you know, she just went away on her own.
Yeah.
I actually told her, you know, while I was there, because I know she could hear me. I was singing Frank Sinatra to her. I've actually considered being a death doula because I really have done this enough times. I mean, truly. And I do massage, I sing, I just whisper things in their ears. And, you know, it really brings me a lot of peace, you know, because
Mm-hmm.
people, when I mean, she knew she was about to die. She actually said a few days ago that she was scared and then she lost the ability to talk. But yeah, I'd really like to focus on, you know, taking the stigma out of death and birth. You know, it's kind of like it has to be this over medicalized thing, and yeah, I don't ascribe to that at all. I would not go. I didn't go near a hospital for any of my three kids because I'm like you know, I don't want to give my power over to them. I just don't. Um, but yeah, sorry to go off on that tangent, but yeah, there's so many topics we could have. And later
Yeah,
today,
these would be fun to do at Ghost Ranch, just like in the
yeah,
evening as little circle gatherings, like the open, free flow. Have a few ideas that we have already in the wings for like an evening talk. That seems like a good. These both seem like good campfire kind of
I'm so
scenarios.
excited. And
Yeah.
honestly, I mean, we could even, I mean, if you're going to fly into the States, I mean, we could do like multi weeks back to back and just have different focus where we're building towards something.
Mm-hmm.
I would absolutely love to do something like that where we're just, there's like a natural order that just starts to fall into place. And as the people come together, the energies start to collide. Um, you know, the next steps just appear. And that's
Mm-hmm.
what I found that when we have these gatherings, I mean, people just, but you know, then you got to keep the momentum because when it's like everybody starts going their individual ways, it changes things. But I think a gathering, you know, the longer we can keep it going, the more we will build upon that. And I mean,
Yeah, and have like a kind of sort of little support sort of thing built in, like a community that you engage in online, like for Mother Spirit.
mhm.
For me, I've sort of started that through Twitter to have just a common ground space where for people to go and meet each other and have discussions and stuff like that. So I'm doing that on Telegram just because there's no real better space really to do that. So I have a group there, and then I've got like subgroups for different topics. So there's like a general chat, and then we have different topics, and that'll change as the whole thing evolves. But like you're saying, like after coming to a retreat like this, to have some kind of feel like you're part of the community and have some kind of support when you go back to your home and re-enter the whole social dynamics of that, and be able to bring some of that community back there with you, because as you say, we want this concept to spread actually into the home, and for people to feel comfortable to share their talent, whatever that is, or their passion with the community around them, or farther afield, like online. But the importance is actually the face to face, the actual
Yes,
coming together, and the actual contact.
I agree fully. There is just something super magical. Have you met anyone from X in person?
No,
No, it's
no.
I mean, sometimes it's a miss. I've met a lot of people. I mean, a lot of people at this point. But you know, every now and then you find like, I mean, your true like soul tribe. I don't know how to say it. It's just like there's just a natural flow,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, that's what I'd really like to help people step into is that they can have a natural flow state in every different situation in their life. You know, it really is. It's what you bring because what you bring is reflected out, and then it changes the way that people interact with you. So if you're bringing a state of calm presence, then, they may not want to meet you there, but eventually they're going to have to. I mean, like that guy that was saying all those awful things to me last week. Now he's being very loving, and it's just because I'm like, listen, people attack because they're coming from a place of pain. They want
Yeah.
to cause somebody else pain to maybe try to figure out their own. And if you attack back, you're basically, you're just continuing the cycle. So I'm like, I could do this.
Yeah.
I
And I
could
think
block
it's
him,
different,
or I could like try to, um,
yeah.
change the
It's like
direction.
a habit that they've gotten into
Yeah,
and no one has ever helped them to break it.
yeah, yeah. This is someone who hosts meditation spaces though, and I'm like, um, I don't know, maybe don't until you're actually offering true peace and what you bring to the table. Because I don't intentionally harm people. I don't. I mean, I can't remember ever in my entire existence in trying to intentionally harm another person. And I think it's become more commonplace where people are like, oh, what does it matter? It's just social media. What does it matter? I can just go about my life, and then when I come back, I'll act like it never happened. It's like, no, it did happen. And
Yeah.
although I forgive instantly, I never forget the way that someone presents. And if
Yeah.
someone presents himself in a place of hostility and, just cruelty, it's like, okay, if you change your ways, it's not like I'm going to change my interaction with you because you acted that way, but it's going to be right here
Yeah.
that you have that ability to intentionally try to harm someone. And, let's get rid of that, because
Yeah.
it's no benefit to anybody. So,
Yeah, this is helpful for a lot of people and not just not just the book Nonviolent Communication.
mhm.
When I read that, it really changed the way I interacted with people. And yeah, it's like rewiring the brain. We never were taught how to communicate or I mean, I it's like etiquette in a way, really, isn't
Yes.
it?
Do you want to know my job title when I worked
Oh,
at
what?
Northrop Grumman? I was the corporate manager of events, protocol, and etiquette,
There you
which is
go.
hilarious. Yeah, I literally had these huge books on etiquette and manners, and how to
Yeah,
deal with difficult
hey?
people, how to deal with difficult people, and how to
Right.
keep balance in her. And that was, I mean, I went to George Washington University to take classes and
Well, this is a
how
really
to do
great
that.
workshop to give for
Yeah,
people at
right.
Ghost Ranch because I'm sure, yeah, this is a huge one, huge
it's a
part
it's
of
a
it.
it's a massive skill that, if more people were able to, kind of like regulate their emotions when they're in a
Mm,
situation, because situations are only difficult if you make them difficult, really, most situations anyway. So you decide how you want to meet somebody. Do you want to meet somebody here and then lift them, or do you want to meet somebody here and then lower them?
yeah,
But it's better to meet in a neutral point and try to, add to one another's energy. But
yeah.
it's tough. It's tough in the moment. The people that tend to get triggered by me, I don't know. It's because I think we are at this point speaking a high level of truth that, if they can't find fault in it, then they find fault in us. And it's
Mm,
like, I don't know if that happens with you. It's happening to me a lot. And it's giving me a lot of like pause and grace in dealing with it, because I'm like, these people aren't attacking me as an individual. They are attacking what I stand for. And I'm like, why would they be attacking what I stand for? Because all I stand for is, you know, trying to bring people together in a state of higher harmony,
yeah. So
leading
something
towards,
deeper in them.
yeah, like a
Yeah.
shared sense of oneness and togetherness, and that, we have each other's backs. I say that a lot, but it is really amazing to me how it's almost like a duplicity with people. They will say one thing to your face and then, treat go a completely different direction. But it's very, when you're face to face, it's harder to do that. When you can hide behind an avatar, it's very easy to do that, and have no, um, there's no real, oh, completely blanking on the word, but you don't know what I'm talking about. They just move forward as if there's no retribution whatsoever. That
Yeah.
you can just, act poorly and it's okay. But
Yeah.
I think we're entering a new era where people's characters, the character that you show up with is going to matter more. It's going to matter like it did, decades ago when when things just mattered. It just seems like we've gotten to a point where you can't you can't judge anybody for anything. You can't comment on anything without being like against whatever that is. So therefore, everybody's kind of living in eggshell land because they don't know what to say. Everybody's offended. Everybody's pissed off and outraged, and
Yeah.
oh, my sensibilities are being are under attack here. It's like no, they're really not. Take a deep breath. Just take a deep breath and try to go up 1,000 feet in the air and just release all that energy and look down. It's like there's nothing even to worry about. What am I
Yeah.
stressing out about here? So sorry, I am kind of taking over the conversation, but
No, no, it's perfect.
for the
So
gatherings I'm literally writing because I see
right.
things in
So
an artistic view. I'm starting with birth, ending with death. um,
yeah, hey, that might be a
and
really cool way to actually do it.
yeah, I think a life cycle event would be really, really cool.
Uh-huh.
Where we talk about, breath and nutrition and, just stepping into, I mean, we're entering this beautiful path. And then how do we use the time between birth and death to
Mm,
step into our highest state of
yeah.
being? Because a lot of people just don't know how to. It's hard. I mean, I'm certainly no expert, but um, I think that I probably, although I started out with a massive disadvantage because we were so poor that, there were many, many, many days that I didn't eat anything. But now I don't have a need or even any wants. I mean, everything that I need and want is, at my disposal. So it's almost like um, the flip side is almost as bad. I don't know, because then you become kind of comfortably complacent,
Mm,
and it's easier to look down on everything, or, to judge and look down on everything else, which I think I did for a bit, and now I'm like, oh my gosh, both sides are um, in need of like a shakeup. I think
mm.
that we are experiencing a great shakeup within humanity right now, and it's kind of like, okay, well,
Yeah.
who are we
Everybody's
reinventing
been
ourselves
so
as?
separated for so
Yes,
long. Like
so
the great
long.
lockdown separated a lot
Hmm.
of people from loved ones, and now it's like it's continued in this separation like over just everything. Like there's like it's either you're this way or you're that way, and you have to pick which side you're on. And
You can't talk about what the actual topic is without first declaring, what side you're on. It's just like, I'm not on any side on any topic. You
yeah.
can't, don't try to say, oh, you're a liberal or you're a conservative. It's like, because no, I mean, that's how we've gotten into all these problems. I mean, if everybody has to
Mm,
be one or the other, and there's
mm,
no, because that's like 10% on either side.
mm,
But it's like if you automatically are identified as 10% on either side, then you're
mm.
ignoring the 80% in between, which is where, most people actually are.
Yeah.
People, I think, kind of radicalize their their viewpoints just to feel like they fit in with whatever
Mm.
the conversation is. But I will not I won't get involved in political conversations anymore. I bring things up, and my husband will get really angry. He's like, "Oh, why are you talking about that stuff?" I'm like, "I'm talking about an issue, and you're getting mad because that issue is tends to be at a different end of the spectrum of what
Yeah.
you have come to kind of identify as truth." But if every topic is basically off the table without, unless it becomes politicized or partisanized or whatever, I'm sure that's just a made up word, but
I do that all
like,
the
it's just
time,
like if you
but I
can't
get
talk
your
about
vibe.
anything without it automatically bringing up this like rage in people, like, oh, well, where do you stand on that? It's like right in the middle. Is it okay if I stand right in the middle?
Yeah.
Let's have the conversation from
I'm
middle point.
still trying to make up my mind.
Yeah, yeah. Do I have to be like on one polar extreme or the other? Because I
Hmm.
don't see that that's gonna add to the conversation in any
Yeah.
way. So sorry, I'm rubbing coconut oil on myself. It's so cold here
Nice.
all of a sudden, 30 degrees. It was 80 degrees here last week. 80. Now it's 30.
Wow.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a big difference.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
The Christmas tree today, I think.
over the 7 days, do you see each day being like its own workshop, so to speak, or like a morning and afternoon session, or
So,
is it just going to depend on how many events you want to fit into the?
well, I'd say we should identify, how many people are going to go, and then the week is usually set up. I mean, I think we can kind of configure it however we'd like, but the way it's usually set up is, say somebody wants to do meditation, somebody wants to do art. You're basically signing up for that for a week, and then at the end of the week on the Friday,
Mm-hmm.
um, whatever you worked on all week with your group, you're basically presenting in, I mean, maybe not the meditation, people, but we could do that too. We could have like a group meditation with everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but they meet in, one big community center area, and like the artists will present their art. I mean, there's metalworking, there's sculpting, and there's all different kinds of things. And then everybody kind of comes for the end of the week party, basically. And then Saturday is kind of, some people usually arrive on Sunday and then leave the following Sunday. And so Sunday is kind of settle in day. And then Monday through Friday is when you're doing whatever your session is, either in the morning with supervision and with somebody basically answering questions. And then that person usually shows up in the afternoon after lunch as well. Just,
If we do our own flow, though, we could totally go off
we can do whatever we want. I
on
think
our
we can
own
do whatever
schedule, right?
whatever we want. Yeah.
Like if someone wanted to do like I'm just gonna ramble these off because they're ones I've
I'm
done in
gonna
the
write them down.
past. So no, just these are just ideas. Like
Yeah.
sort of what for a flow. I thought of like okay, you have your morning, you have your breakfast, and then you have a session, and then you have lunch, and you have another session, and then you have your dinner, and then there's like a evening campfire of
Yes.
some kind of little campfire circle event happening that's like
Take your guitars and
different every
singing.
night. It could be have
Yes.
a singing night. We can have like the birth. We can even have multiple circles that people want to go to, like a standard one, like a standard campfire. Bring your guitar, singing one that's sort of like every night, and have smaller spin-off ones of that, like because probably not everyone's going to want to come to the birth circle. But it might be really interesting, even if you're not participating, to listen, to just
Yeah.
be kind of the audience. Could be a really beautiful experience for some
Well,
people.
yeah, probably what I would do is reach out to local, to Abiquiu, New Mexico, local drum circles, and have them come in. And we could have like a Native American drum circle. Can you imagine? That'd be so
Ooh,
beautiful. So
that
yeah,
would
I'll,
be
I'll be
fun.
working with Ghost Ranch. I'll actually call Joanne. Her name is Joanne. The
It's
Ghost Ranch,
funny.
of course. I'm going to call her after we get off. She's been out for Thanksgiving. So um, yeah, once we start kind of putting this together, yeah, I'd say the more that
Because then
we
I
can kind
thought, like the whoever wants to present something or offer a workshop can be like a morning, depending on how long they need. We can even have like a different thing for the morning and the afternoon. So you
mhm.
have like a morning and after, sometimes you'll have a morning and an afternoon session, or sometimes in the morning will be something different. And like for the next day, the morning will be something different than the afternoon. Like multiple, either a complete set schedule or multiple things for people to choose from. So like,
Yeah,
I don't know. For someone like me, I could do like plasma workshop like every day,
well,
you
you
know
know
what I
what
mean? I
what
could
it could
offer
be.
that every day, and whoever wants to
Yeah.
come can come to that, or you
It
know
could be like a mix and match. You either pick a mix and match where there's like, shorter sessions, where
hmm
you can pick a different session every day, or if you're doing more like painting or a sculpture or something like that. I mean, that's really, you're working on one project for the week. So
right.
yeah, it could be optional. I think I think we can do a lot with this, and because my husband just joined the board, I feel like I can call them and say,
Because I
"Listen,
think
work
most
with me
people,
because this can be a
yeah,
recurrent thing for you guys,
I
and the
think
more
a
you work
lot
with
of
me,
people, I think a lot of people are going to want to have like kind of like a smorgasbord.
hmm
Well, I shouldn't speak for most people. We need to do the little survey, maybe like you're saying, and get
well,
some feedback of what people want. Because it's cool to go to a painting workshop for a whole week, but like that's not my thing. Like
yeah, exactly,
I want to do like a bunch of I want to talk to a whole bunch of different people and have like a whole bunch of different experiences and
yeah.
like the
Well, we
more
can
the
definitely put that in the survey.
buffet workshop.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I actually kind of like the idea of having maybe. I mean, I'll see how many different areas we can get. I mean, the way they set up their structures, uh, each one probably comfortably takes in like 20, 30 people. So
Mm-hmm.
we could just have, and they have like the dividers, what do they call them, like the rolling dividers. So
Mm-hmm.
we could put that in between, and we could just have a group of people that are all in one center but move around. It's like Shavambu in this one, meditation in this one, breath
Right.
work in this one, and then there's each day. It's just kind of like, yeah, they're just moving around.
Right.
Um, yeah, I mean, I'd say it's endless, and especially with two people um, who are so passionate and excited about planning this, it's just going to get more exciting.
Yeah. Or like the painting, like maybe you do go to that every day, but it's like it's not all day. So you have like an option, you have an
You
open
could also, yeah, you could
afternoon,
have a morning option and
something like
afternoon
that.
option. Um, and the painting
So
one, I
that
mean,
when people want to commit to something like that,
mhm,
but they also want to have some other experiences at the same time.
yeah, yeah, they could just jump in. I mean, there could be a group of people who just want to paint all week, and then other people jump in for just one day.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, because then they can take it if it's interesting to them, then they can take it up. I like to paint. I like to paint, and that's really all I want to do when I go out there. But
Yeah.
I'm sure I'll go to all these other things too, because it's not like I'm closing myself down to all these things that are also going to be very important. But yeah, so I'll definitely get more information from Joanne today,
Uh-huh.
and just see what our options are basically.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I
Yeah.
think they're really trying to get more people.
How
Yeah,
many
they're trying to get
zones
more
there are?
people, so they're going to be very receptive. Right now,
Mm-hmm.
they're really trying to get more attention to Ghost Ranch, and
Cool.
yeah,
And
so,
there's time to pull this idea off of having domes. Have you ever seen the geodesic domes?
I
And
have.
you like there's you can build them with, you know, really low key stuff. They use a lot of them use electrical conduit because you can get it at almost any hardware store. And it's just a matter of like following the plan. Like there's a actual website that you can go to and you say what size of structure you're looking for, and then it tells you, okay, you need these length of poles and this angle that you bend the ends at to fit it all together.
Is it a
And
temporary structure or is it more permanent?
yeah, well,
Yeah.
you can make it either or. It's kind of like a yurt,
Yeah, they
but
have they
a
have
lot
literally yurts
quicker.
on Amazon for $400 or $500 that fit. I mean, you could sleep 20 people in one. It's a huge yurt that they sell
Yeah,
for next to nothing.
yeah.
Um,
So
so
these domes are kind of like that same idea, because they're really movable. You can move them
yeah.
around. And I mean, obviously you need a cover for it. Obviously, it's a lot quicker to just buy these things, as you say,
Well, we
online.
we can look into all the different options.
So
Yeah,
they might be interested in investing in something like that if
yeah.
they say they want to do something.
Yeah, I
And
plan to. I mean, when I talk to her, I plan to go. I'm not just saying, "Oh, we want to do this 1 week event." I'm going to say, "Listen, we want to start like a relationship here. I mean, this is a
Right.
group that is going to be, having retreats all around the world, and we could have 2 weeks here every year, because that's what they do. They basically have different themes throughout the year. Like they have the
Right.
festival
You
of the
like
arts
pre
2 years
they kind
ago.
of a lot of these places they sort of know a year ahead of time
Yeah,
who's
yeah,
going to come and present what, and then people can sign up for these things
yeah,
like a year ahead of time kind of idea.
yeah. So maybe
Yeah, no,
we
I
could
just
just
thought
pick like
the
a 2 week
domes
period.
are so movable. Like it's not a big
Hmm.
investment and they can be moved. Like you can literally pack them up into the back of a pickup truck and,
And where did you see
go
these domes?
elsewhere. Well, I'll send you a link to like a place in this, there's a few places in the States that actually make them, but there's also another website that tells you how to make it yourself, like all the instructions on how to
Interesting.
do
Okay.
it for yourself. And so it could be a way for Ghost Ranch to actually generate revenue. Like, they have the domes there and you use them, but they also sell them. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
know. That's just an idea. I don't know
Okay.
what how far down, like what their situation is. And
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, it's just the being able to move them so easily is sort of like the big thing for me about it. And the low cost is another
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, I had
Yeah,
considered doing. Yeah, I've talked to a lot of people about doing the yurt thing. So I've been trying
yeah.
to get people excited about doing a retreat for like 3 years now on X. It's kind of funny, and every time it kind of gets there, it's just,
Hmm.
whew, I don't know. I don't think it's going to happen with us, but yeah, it's bizarre. It seems like
Well, it's a commitment.
it is a big commitment, and when people realize the big commitment, they usually disappear.
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I'm actually fine to do most of the logistics. I just need to make sure that I have people who have the same vision,
Hmm.
because I'm really good at logistics. Like you and Olivier both have very specific skill sets, and that's why it's just like let's bring our skill sets to the
Hmm.
table. Say this is what I bring.
Hmm.
Yeah, logistics is my thing. I'm really really good at logistics and bringing people together and kind of creating a frequency, and I don't mind being the bad guy who says, "Hey, you're changing the frequency."
Yeah.
Get that, and that's when people get pissed off at me. But I'm like, create your own space. Go do, you don't need to be what I am creating, but if I'm creating something, then at least meet me there. Don't try to tank what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Go tank your own thing.
Yeah. So
Oh,
these yurts, though, that sounds like another really very doable
yeah, I'll
option.
send you an image, and I'll probably go on there. This was years ago that I pulled these up. They're probably going to be like $800 now. I don't know, or more.
Mm,
Let me see.
mm.
I just stumbled upon them because I was considering putting one up in my backyard, just to have
Yeah.
a place of my own. Because there's
Yeah.
6 people in my house, and just to get quiet,
I
specifically during
hear
the
you.
summer, it's impossible. So I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I want something
The
outside.
domes, because they're so, it's just a framework. It's just like the skeleton. So you can cover it with whatever you want. Like you can cover it with tarp, you can cover it with canvas, you can cover it with like panels to make it into a greenhouse.
Yeah.
So that was sort of like one of the other big things about that diversity that they have. But I
No,
mean,
they still have
obviously.
yurts, um, and they're not that expensive. Let me see. Here's one, and they're between. I mean, this is just gorgeous. Glamping tent is what I
Yeah,
think they're calling
yeah.
this one. But
Yeah.
they're between 200 and $700 depending on the size. But yeah, you can get them on Amazon. We could have it delivered directly wherever we're going, and yeah, so that is a very good that's a very good
Huh.
option, and people can also sleep in
It's
them.
interesting. Right.
I mean,
Right.
camping,
Of
that's
course.
my family, we're big campers, so
Hmm.
not everybody is, but I'd actually rather sleep in that than some of the Ghost Ranch. Oh, I shouldn't say that out loud. Because it's just it's basic, it's just basically plywood structures with, open air windows
Right.
and, bunk beds.
Yeah. A
It's
lot of
as
times in
basic
these
as
places,
basic
I'd rather
gets.
have a thermarest
Yeah.
than sleep on
Yeah.
the bed. I would just rather.
Yeah. I'd rather sleep
Yeah.
outside almost. It's just like,
Yeah.
I like sleeping outside. I
If
sleep
the
outside all
weather
the time.
permits,
Yeah.
same here.
Yeah.
Just
We have a couch out on
totally.
our, out on a deck off the master, and I sleep out there sometimes. I slept out there when it's 30 degrees one night, and my family's just like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Looking at the stars. It's so pretty out here. I got blankets."
Totally.
I'll do that tonight, actually. I love that. I love like waking up and you're like breathing in cold air, but your whole body's like, all nice and snuggly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I've definitely experienced that living
Yeah.
in the Arctic. So,
Oh, the Arctic. I don't know if I could
yeah.
do the Arctic, but I like it every now and then. Um,
Yeah.
well, let's talk about other things too, because it's I'm going to do a lot of research on this. My last week was just absolutely lost, both to Thanksgiving and my lovely
You're,
aunt.
yes.
But I'm more motivated than ever. Actually, co-hosting a space, healing the mother-father wound
Oh,
today.
wow.
Yeah, in a few hours if you're available for that. But
Yeah, I
I
have
think
another
people are
colleague or friend
really
like that.
starting to want something bigger. They're wanting, more, kind of collaboration and connection, and that moves towards gatherings, that moves towards, something. So we're
Yes.
waiting for something. It's like we're what we're waiting for. Let's just start.
Yeah,
Let's
the
just start
family
putting it
unit,
together.
healing the family unit.
Yes.
Or not even healing, like healing the family unit, yes, but and also for people that are already really close, like just making that bond even closer, you
Yeah.
know? I think everybody's really going that way right now. And um yeah, just getting tight with their people that they care about the most.
You want to see
And
one of the people
yeah,
I
I
care
can
about the
definitely
most?
relate to that.
Look at this little face. Who I care about?
Oh gosh.
That little face. My sweet
Your
little doggy.
sidekick. That's your mascot.
He's everywhere I go. Everywhere I go. Yes, I'm talking about you. She's like, what? 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 Are you dissing me, mom? I'm
But I
not.
love this idea of it being more dynamic, you know, the multiple choices.
Okay.
And even
Well,
some spontaneity. Maybe someone that's there wants to even just spring
yeah.
something
Well, for
like
afternoons, maybe we could have set morning sessions, and then afternoons, it's like if you're called, here's a
or
board.
the maybe that's the
Here's a board
campfire
for the
one.
afternoon sessions. You come up and put your name
Yeah,
on it,
yeah, yeah.
and people
Yeah.
will show.
Actually, yeah. And I think definitely for the campfire evening thing,
Yeah.
to have something there,
Oh, I'm so excited. This will be so much
some
fun.
kind of circle gathering and with a topic and
Yeah.
um yeah.
So I'm gonna sell this to Elon. I actually am. I've been thinking about this in the past week. Is the idea of X gatherings, because nobody's really talking about it, but it's the next. It's just an obvious. And now that I've said it out loud, somebody else will take it, which is fine. It just needs to happen. It is
Yeah.
the next obvious step in what X is trying to create. They're trying to create this everything app where you build communities on there, you do financial transactions on there. Everything you do is through X. So the next obvious step is, how do we start getting people together? And
Mm.
I think you and I honestly could maybe bring that forward to him together, because that's my background. I mean, it's kind of the reason I'm here, is to do this. It is the reason I'm here, is to help bring people together. So um, and I've been trying to talk to him I'm pretty sure I have talked to him actually multiple times, um, for 5 years now. He uses an alt account. So I don't know if you're familiar with that, but
Mm.
he uses,
I'm
yeah.
actually relatively new to social
Okay.
media,
We'll
believe
have
it or
that
not.
conversation in different contexts, but yeah, there are, I think when the right visionaries are coming up with the right plans,
Mm.
I think there are lots of like people out there kind of waiting to pounce. So we just need
Mm.
to kind of condense what it is we're trying to do, and really
Mhm.
think of it, not just on a small scale, but on a very large scale. Because this is, you know, we could be so much at the forefront of this that we're able to help create the best narrative associated with it. Because, you know, anything on X, I mean, and I
Yeah, and
know from experience.
help people to create it for themselves,
Yes,
like do
yes,
their own workshop and yeah, start up
that's the
their
main
own
thing is,
community and
yeah.
yeah.
We're not trying to lead this. We're trying to give you ideas for how to lead it yourself.
Yeah,
And
no,
you bring it
there's
into your every aspect of your daily life. And then
yeah, and then you
it's just
share it
like,
and you
oh, I'm a little
become one
happier
of them
today.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're like, "Where did you
I'm
learn this
eating a
from?"
little
And they're
bit
like, "The
better.
lady
I'm
down
like,
the street."
yeah, I'm
That
focusing on
doesn't
my
come
health
back to us.
today. I'm not as grumpy today. You know, it's just like fill in the blank. Everything's a little bit better today.
Yeah.
Why is that? You know, that's the feedback I'm starting to get on X.
Mm.
And which is really, really beautiful. It's really, really, I mean, it's, you know, it's bringing me to tears. I have people calling me mentor now. It's like, oh my gosh, this
Aw.
is like, yeah, it's really, and honestly, I don't do any of this for attention. I don't at all. I just know that I've tapped into something that can be helpful for other people. But to get feedback that I'm actually helping people is really exciting. So now I'm like, all right,
No, that
let's
definitely
just keep
matters.
getting
Yeah.
more and more momentum on this, because truly, it's the people like us who are not here with an agenda, who are
Mm.
not here with you know, like the like ill intentions. I don't know. And not that most people have ill intentions. I don't. I just think that they're reactive. You know, a lot of people are reactive, and we are not reactive, and that's
Mm.
why whatever we create together will be a success. It's just period. Because we're passionate and we're non-reactive, and I think I'd really like to help other people become, you know, passionate towards you know, stepping into a purpose. Because truly, once you have
Hmm.
a purpose in life, everything flows better. But
Yeah.
you know, also with the understanding that your reaction, the way you react to others, the way you react to every single aspect of your life, you know, with you can react with gratitude and with love, or you can react with, you know, kind of like vitriol and anger. And you know, the choice is yours. Choice is always yours. So if we can kind of instill um, more of a sense that, you know, this can be easy. This doesn't have to be hard. This doesn't have to be, oh, I got to take a month and figure out how to do all this stuff. No, it's just, you know, you just, it's like little baby steps. It becomes a
Yeah.
flow. It becomes something that incrementally makes you feel a little bit better each day. And then all of a sudden, oh my gosh, I'm living my best life.
Yeah.
Why didn't I do it the whole time? Why didn't I do it the whole time? So anyway, I'd love to hear your feedback on anything I just said, because I just go off on long tangents. But yeah, I have a calling. I have a very specific calling, and I think a lot of other people have very specific callings. And it's
Yes.
time for us to start coming together
Yeah.
and really amplifying. You know, imagine a group of 30, 50 people who all have very specific callings to help humanity coming together in a state of peace, harmony,
Absolutely.
and love. You know, we're
We have
basically creating our own Woodstock.
one of the
Oh,
viewers asking, "Oh, what's plasma workshop?" Okay, you can look that up, James. It's called Shivambu. I'm going to just let you go and explore that on your own, or you can check out my YouTube. I have a playlist for water magicians, and we'll answer all your plasma questions. And what part of the country is that happening at?
that
So,
is going to
Ghost
be New
Ranch,
Mexico. It's a
New
place called
Mexico.
Ghost Ranch. Yeah, it's where, if anybody's seen the movie Oppenheimer, it's where that was filmed. It's just beautiful. It's very, very remote. It's about an hour outside of Santa Fe, so you would fly into Albuquerque is the closest airport, and it is, I mean, it's just, it's like God's country there. I mean, the sky is just infinite. The mesas and the cliffs, and there's a flat topped mountain called Pedernal, which was in a lot of Georgia O'Keeffe's paintings. That's where she lived.
Yeah, this is
Answer that.
Georgia O'Keeffe's,
Yeah,
was her property, is it not?
yeah, yes.
Yeah.
Well, she owned, I think, 7 acres, and now it's
Mm.
a museum to her. But yeah, the Ghost Ranch itself is 22,000 acres, and it's where most westerns have been filmed.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's just you'll recognize some of the scenery just because it's
Sure.
in like every movie.
So dramatic.
So dramatic. I mean, so dramatic, but it's beautiful. It's very, 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 very remote. It's not like, I mean, when you're going there, that's where you're going. It's
Right.
not like you're going out to restaurants at night or anything.
Yeah.
It's a destination place. They really don't allow driving on the ranch, so I'm disabled. I usually have a golf cart, but everybody else is walking. I would say 5 to 10 miles a day just to get from place to place, and that's
Hmm.
that's the other beautiful thing. And you're eating healthy
Hmm.
food. You're communing with nature. You are connecting and collaborating with people from all around the world who have come there in such a state of peace. That's the one thing I will say about Ghost Ranch. It's like being with a bunch of Buddhist monks. When you get there,
Yeah.
it's just everybody, and it's not like there's no fun,
Mm.
um, but it's just a very, very, very harmonious state of living.
Hmm.
So, and it's just really cool. And they have dinosaur fossils. Heliophysis was kind of looked like a little velociraptor. That was the primary dinosaur in that region. And they've got lots of dinosaur. They actually have dinosaur hunting and pot shards. Or my husband actually found a full pot that was like 1,000 years old in a cave.
Crazy.
And it's in the museum. But there's just a lot to see there. I also have a high ropes course that's it's like a Navy SEALs type high ropes course. So any aspect of what you're trying to go like just get away from the 3D reality, kind
Hmm.
of cut the cords that are testing you to responsibility and reaction. You get out
Hmm.
there and everything just flows away because there's
Hmm.
hardly any Wi-Fi. I think there's only one or two buildings that have Wi-Fi.
Oh,
And
wow. You're like
yeah,
unplugged for the week.
yeah, it's like going back 60 years in time, at least.
Mm.
And just think John Wayne. You're going back to John Wayne,
Mm.
like that's exactly the kind of setting it is the John Wayne.
Yeah, and as
Yeah.
Fiona Gardner is saying, I love sleeping outside too. Yeah, if there's
Yeah.
an area that could actually happen, that would be really cool because I would definitely like to have that option.
Well, yeah. I mean, and
Yeah.
it's such it's a really dry place. I mean, I'm sure they have coyotes and things, but I don't think they have anything really dangerous. I've got coyotes in my backyard, and I don't think they're coming after me if I sleep out there. So I think we'll be safe. Um, actually, funnily enough,
I think.
we were camping in oh, what's that the really really crazy place near Mount Rushmore. It's got like
Mhm.
the really dark name, Black. I don't know. But anyway, we were camping there, and my husband and I decided to sleep in the camper van and put the kids in the tent. It was always the other way around, and this whole pack of coyotes came out and was like surrounding the tent. Oh my gosh, I'm still like cracking up over it. And they were just the wind flattened their tent, so we won't have anything like that at Ghost Ranch, but it'll be fun to sit around the campfire and tell some crazy stories. But
Hmm.
so yeah, I mean, let's just start visualizing this. So if we check in on Sunday night, say we have 30 people. I think 30 people would be great, kind of like plan for the first one.
Hmm.
And everybody brings kind of like their skill sets. We can have like a
Hmm.
circle where we state our intention for the week.
Hmm.
And, we could have check ins. I mean, I think that's the other beautiful thing. This is going to be a group of people who 100% are there to experience something, kind of life altering and positive. And
Hmm.
because of that, we all are checking in with one with each other every day.
Right.
Like, how are you doing on da, 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 da. You came here and you were really distraught over, how are you doing today? What
Yeah.
can I do to help you with that? But
Hmm.
I really truly see these being so life altering that when people leave, um, their life their life moving forward is completely different. They
Yeah.
step into a higher aspect of what they thought it was to be them. Like, oh, I
Hmm.
always wanted to learn how to play guitar. Oh, I always wanted to do this. Oh my gosh, here's this business I wanted to start. Well, yeah, now you're going to go do it. Now you're going to go
Yeah.
do it because you always had it in you, but now you have this whole group of people telling you why you have it in you. And yeah, so just go ahead and do it. Go ahead and do it. There's no time like the present, and life is, oh my gosh, it's so short. And there's always going to be something to throw you off track. But if you know that you have a support group who is going to have your back no matter what, then you're more likely to step forward and you're more likely to succeed. So, yeah, I'd like to add that into kind of like what
Yeah,
we're
and you
offering
know
here
what?
too is a
So
true
many of
community.
these things, like even if you're coming out with a wanting to start a business, actually, almost especially, starting with community first
Hmm.
is actually a super powerful way to launch yourself. No
Yes.
matter what, is actually through community, and learning how to create that first. And that's, I mean, that's really what we're doing here. Is like, yeah, it's happening in real time. We're learning as we go along, and yeah,
Let me see. Are there
start
any
before
other
you're ready.
questions? Are there any other questions that we haven't answered?
No.
No. I let group identity undermines independent, objective, and accountable thinking. Oh, James, wait, on stage. It says he's on stage. What does that mean? Oh, it just got
Um,
highlighted. I see. Group
yeah, yeah,
identity
I just
undermines
highlighted it.
independent,
Maybe
objective,
that's what
and
that means.
accountable thinking. All right. Can James, is he able to? I guess he's not able to speak unless he comes up. I'd love to talk
Right.
about that.
I don't know if we have to plan that in advance, or if we can just pull people up. I'm gonna have to learn more about StreamYard.
Yeah, this is, I may try to use it on a desktop next time because I don't think I have all the options
Yeah,
I
I
meant
think
to
it's
have on an iPad.
better. And then like I sent you that link where you have your phone separate for your camera and then
Hmm.
your laptop. That's what I'm doing right now. It's
Okay. I
and
promise I'll
then
get
you
more
have like
organized next week. This last week was just like not my own, not my own. Not one single day was my own. So yeah.
it's okay. No, it's okay. It's all unfolding as it should. So there won't be any live streaming of the event in at Ghost Ranch, I guess, hey?
Because of the Wi-Fi.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I think yeah, I'll have to check. I think just the dining hall and the office library area.
Right. So
It's
it's really just
that's kind of why I
internet for
love
you
it
to
though.
for emergency internet to check your emails and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's
You know
not
what we could
really.
get though? Actually, this is brilliant. Just because Starlink itself is brilliant, we could get a Starlink. We could get a Starlink and
And do a like
Wi-Fi.
it'd be cool to broadcast
Yeah, I think it's going to be a
the event.
requirement.
Yeah.
And the other thing we can do, because this is going to be an X gathering, I'm going to try to work with Elon's people and say, this is what we are building. Help us out here. Help us out. Give us some
Sure.
Starlinks, because we are literally taking people from your site and creating events and
Yeah, yeah.
bringing more, awareness of what X is trying to do. Because right now X has a lot of haters, and I get it. My husband's a hater. My kid, like every person in my orbit, has a bad opinion of X. They think it's
Yeah, you
where
could pick
crazy
any
people talk.
platform. You
Yeah,
could pick any platform and people would say that. And it's not really, I mean, every platform has those people, and all of these platforms always also have, other real people that
well, X specifically, I
are
think
more genuine.
is considered like a conspiracy theorist,
Oh.
platform. And
Hmm.
I think what it really is a place where people are, creating communities and like really profound communities. And that's why, the
Well,
forces
the
that be, it's
spaces are
scary.
really
They don't
powerful.
want communication like this, because
Right.
when we have communication like this, we don't need so much control.
Right.
And I don't mean to go off on different topics that you guys don't usually go into, but it's important, because as we are joining these and forming these communities, there's going to be outside forces that aren't so happy with it. But it's kind of like, this is the way it is going. This is the way it already is. So you can try to derail it, but this is just what it is at this point. And so that's why I think the people who can really have the most profound positive impact need to start leading this charge. And I will say that about myself. I know that about you, Joanne, and a handful of other people who really, they're like, how can we start bringing people together in a sense of, kind of shared understanding, shared conversations over the best things that we can do together as a species instead of the worst. Because right now it's like everybody's focusing on the worst of humanity and the worst of their countries and the worst of this and the worst of that. But it's like that doesn't add anything. It just subtracts from what is already happening. It just makes sure that that's the continual cycle we're creating.
Yeah, focusing on the division instead of where we come together and celebrate.
So Mother Spirit, I'm telling you, Mother Spirit could change. It can change everything. It only takes a handful of people with the right vision to really start changing. If you think back to like the different concerts, people have always tried to have like one specific event that's going to kind of like excite, motivate people, like Live Aid and Woodstock. It's like these. It's supposed to start like a mini movement kind of thing,
Yeah.
but right now with X, it's the first time in history where we can actually keep the momentum going. It doesn't have to be this one singular event that can draw awareness to whatever it is we're trying to do, but then
Right.
it creates its own self-propagating machine basically, because everybody, once they tap into, oh my gosh, the self-correcting thing, really, it's hilarious. Schumann's going nuts today, by the way. It's been going nuts
Oh,
for the last,
wow.
like, really, really nuts. Like, I'm getting notifications every 30 minutes. I always love that because if you tap into the energy when the Schumann goes crazy, that's when downloads are coming. It really is. It really, and I've been tracking it long enough, like 3 years now. I actually take pictures every time it spikes, and it's always when I'm in the process of like big downloads and big changes.
Oh, cool.
So that means that everybody else, lots of people right now are receiving these huge downloads and changes. And guess what? They're all waiting for somebody to step up and say, "Hey, let's come together in a community. And here's the plan." Joanne's starting it.
Yes,
So
let's.
yeah, let's do it. Um, it's 11:08. I don't know. I don't know when you wanted to end or what else you
Yeah,
wanted
we're
to
at
talk
an
about.
hour. We can wrap it up right now, and then you
Oh,
can get
I'm
ready
not.
for
I'm
your
not recommending
next.
we wrap it up right now. I just didn't know if there was anything else you wanted to discuss because I'm just kind of like going off topic a lot.
No, I think that where we're at right now really is like the next logical step is getting some more info from Ghost Ranch at the
Yeah, I'm gonna
moment.
call her right now.
And
Actually,
then so sort of like starting from there to map it out. But I really love that idea of having some dynamic experiences that people can have, and maybe a few threads that run the whole way through. That if
yeah.
people want to really like what you're saying with your painting, like if people really want to engage in one subject and stay with it, and some people
Well,
might want to do
the
that
other.
with the plasma too, to actually have have a week long like engagement in that way and do like a detox, like take the week as a detox experience. And
I think it should just be pick and choose,
meditation
though.
joins
Yeah.
in really beautifully with this because it's just a little bit of sharing really, and then just like fast when you're as you know when you're fasting you have a lot of time on your hands to fill, and so having a space for drumming or dancing, like movement, definitely I think is going to be a feature. Some kind of dance, some kind of movement, yoga, whatever it might be. I just call it body magic. I just label the whole thing as body magic. I'm not a trained yoga anything. I almost did, but I just bailed at the last minute.
Well,
I
maybe it's
rather
something
just
you
do
need to
my
get back
own
into.
thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do like I've taken so many yoga classes and gone to so many yoga workshops, and now I just like do my own style. I have a bit of dance background in me as a kid. I was really into ballet as a young girl. And then swimming. Actually, I was a competitive swimmer for a while, so there was like a whole slew of exercises that we did to warm up for that. And I've just kind of and then I do other, a lot more different body movement stuff, like pretending I'm a cat and, just different stuff like that. And so I
I
kind
love
of
that.
mashed them all into my own style. And I really actually want to explore that more and actually share that with people about just going with your intuition. And it doesn't matter. You don't need to follow anything. You don't need to follow anyone. You can just tap into your body, tap into your own intuition, and tap into how you're feeling, and to just like not worry about who's looking at what you're doing, and just, move your body however it feels like it wants to move. And at Ghost Ranch, it would be a beautiful place to kind of experience that, because that with that vastness of nature around
Mhm.
you. And in drum, when you get some people playing drums, I mean, people are going to start moving.
Yes.
So be nice to have a little talk about that.
So what we could do is not have any specific structure to it. We could have basically different. Well, I guess we'd have to have some structure to it because we can do that with the surveys though, like figure out what kind of
Yeah,
topics
and
people
let's
we're
see
interested
who's
in, and but it could
interest.
just be a
Let's
flow. It could be like,
Right,
oh, I
and
feel
let's
like
see
doing art
who's
right
really.
now, and they're the art sessions over there, so I'm going to go in the art session. But say everybody just has, they can go wherever they want, but we get kind of a better understanding of where they're going to want to go, so we make sure that we have, if everybody wants to do meditation, and the other spots are going to be open. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. I think we can figure a lot of this out before, but if we keep it more flow state, yeah, I like that idea where people can just go and do what they want. They want to do meditation, they want to do drum circle, they want to shavambu, whatever their topic is that they're feeling that morning, they can go do that. I'll figure that out in a way that it creates like a lot of flow. So it's not like 15 people in one group and two people somewhere else, where it's
Yeah.
yeah, that would be the only bad thing about having like
Yeah, and I think it's also going to draw a few people that are really interested in taking the concept, like the sort of the concept behind Mother Spirit, and really putting that into practice in their own community,
yeah.
and like being a space where we can actually sort that out together. Who knows? I don't know. That could
How
that
about
could
how
happen
about
too.
this? How about the morning session? So this would be say from like 9 to noon kind of thing. It's a set program. I mean, that's the thing that you chose that is of the greatest interest to you. And then the afternoon sessions, I mean, you can hop around and the instructor will still be there because the instructor in the afternoon session is literally just there to answer questions anyway. The morning session is usually direct instruction and kind of like practical application of such. But the afternoon sessions you can kind of bounce around. So and that way, I think that would be really good. And we could have a max of, I don't know, maybe probably six people in each specific session because it also keeps it really, once you have like 20, 30 people, um, I don't know. It just doesn't seem to be the quite the same flow because it's like these little cliques start forming. But when you're in a smaller group, like say maybe 5 or 6, it's just you're kind of forced to be together. So I'm going to put a lot of thought into that. But yeah, I think if we kind of offer maybe say we offer like 6 different sessions and we have 36 people, and like 6 people in each one of the specific sessions, and then they can kind of bounce around throughout the days or throughout the afternoon. And then we're coming together in the dining hall experiences 3 times a day. And then at nights around these, campfires where we're telling stories and kind of
And the
focusing.
dining hall thing, so people have an option whether they want to, like if people want to do their own meals, do their own food entirely, they can do that, or how does that
There's
work?
no, well, there's no kitchens. There's, I mean, yeah, it's if you are in the campground, I think it's optional to not be on the meal plan. But the typical Ghost Ranch rule is if you are there for anything that they're offering, unless you're in the campground, that you have to pay for the meal fee. And
Okay.
but I'm sure that they, based on your, uh, and you guys have a very different diet than what they would provide. I'm sure that, yeah, you just have the conversation with them and say, not doing it. I think
Yeah.
they just like the majority of the people to be on the meal plan. And
Right.
it's, I mean, I want to say it's like, $200 for the week, and you're eating, I mean, it's way more food. I don't eat that much, so it's kind of wasted on me. But if I bring my kids, they will absolutely eat $200 worth of food. They'll just load themselves up every day. But yeah, we can have that conversation with them too. Again, I think they're trying to find new groups to come in. So we just say, listen, we're going to be tailoring this, based on kind of what we think is going to be most beneficial to our collective, but also so it's beneficial to you. But and maybe we can help them change, because it's a little rigid. It's been a little rigid in the past, but I think they're trying to kind of take on a new leaf. So maybe we can kind of help them say, this might be a way to attract more people. If it's not so rigid, if it's not like, oh, you got to do the meal plan, you got to do this, you got to do this. It's like just offer some flexibility. The other cool thing I think would be great if they had like a um, community kitchen where people could go there, and it could be right by the dining hall. Everybody could eat together. But if you want to go and do your own thing, and they could have juicers in there, and all kinds of like more healthy appliances that produce food that I don't know. Like I go through juice fast sometimes.
Yeah.
You couldn't do that there, but if they had a separate structure. Yeah, I'm going to write that down too. I don't know. I like throwing out lots of ideas and seeing if anything sticks. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think a separate like communal, food preparation place would be, it'd be perfect out there. I mean, they have so much land. It's just endless land. So, it's not like they're low on space. Um, okay. Well, I'm going to use this as motivation to call Joanne right after we get off, a different Joanne, Joanne at Ghost Ranch. And yeah, I'm definitely paying attention to the sink, that is the name. Um, but yeah, it's this to me, if we could kind of structure it as like a life cycle type, where it's almost like they're coming in as one person and exiting as kind of a newer, upgraded version, because
Yeah, and
they're
like
leaving
to
all the
make sure
weight.
that we can be part of that
Yeah.
transformation ourselves
Yeah.
too, even though
Yeah.
we're the ones creating it. Or
Yes.
like, I mean, we're just actually putting the structure there for it to happen. So we're actually going to be part of, you know, experiencing this little playground that we're going to build.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. So
I
it
look
should
just
be
like my
fun.
dad right now. It's so funny. I never look at myself. Like I very rare, and I just looked. I was like, oh my gosh, that's my dad. It's crazy. I look just like my dad. It's funny. He died 18 years ago, but I look just like
Oh,
him.
wow.
Um, all right. Well, this has been really good. I don't know
Yeah.
if anybody is still on this space, but thank you for being here. If you are, thank you for your comments.
Yes.
And yeah, what we're discussing is probably going to happen. I think what would at least say in the Aries
Well,
timeframe.
either that or what was the other time we were thinking? July?
Okay.
I don't know. Just putting an idea.
Okay.
But you talk to the people at Ghost Ranch, and
Yeah, I'll see
we'll
what the
see.
options even are, and then yeah, we
Yeah.
can put out a survey within X or whatever where we need to put it. But just I'll come up with different dates, and then once we have the different dates and the level of interest within those, then we can kind of start narrowing
Yeah.
it down, because it's got to be the people who are attending, who are bringing, you know, what the topics.
Yeah.
um, so yeah, like I'm sure you would do your water, the plasma. Um, you know,
Yeah, and
Olivier.
I wouldn't mind doing something about like composting too, if there's a interest in it,
Yeah.
um, in composting and even humanure.
Well, I
If
think
people are
you could call that
interested in
life
that.
cycle. Maybe you could just have a life cycle, you know, course where you're kind of talking about all of it. Um, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
And
yeah, that's an
yeah, maybe
option.
Olivier wanted to talk astrology and numerology and things like that. Yeah, we could have like, I don't know. I think that what we can do is unlimited at this point, and we just, you know, we're super creative. Just
Yeah,
be super creative and super excited about what we're creating, and it'll flow, and we will be guided. You know, that's the most beautiful thing. Anytime I like really step into something, I'm like, okay, I'm here to help. It's just kind of like, you know, the door just opens. It's like all the information appears, all the people appear, as if it's magic. But we all know that it's not magic. It's
yeah.
just being the divine connection. So,
Yeah, I think
um,
astrology will definitely be something there because there's gonna, I mean, we're stargazers, so
yes, yeah, I think astrology absolutely.
yeah,
So maybe we could write down a few of the absolutes.
yeah.
Yeah, I think astrology is an absolute, and maybe Olivier can lead that. Nomi also knows a lot about astrology. I don't know, you know, that's not my thing. There's a lot of things that are not my thing, which I'm very open about. But yeah, just start bringing in those people, and then maybe in a non-competitive fashion, basically figure out who's going to be leading what. Because I'm the
Yeah,
least competitive person on the planet, and but I will call out other people when they're like, "Oh, I know more than you." It's like, no, 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 nobody knows more
and
than anybody
how
here.
do we,
But
how are about kind of advertising the retreat too? We can talk about that too, about how we can go about doing that on our platforms individually and
well, I plan to create some pretty magnificent art. I'll
cool.
probably do, you know, hand created art rather than AI. I'm tired of looking at AI art. Honestly, I'm just tired of it. Yeah, I'm sure I'll start appreciating it again. But you know, as a tactile artist, I'm just kind of like, it just doesn't have the same
No, I totally
passion.
get it.
You know, you put in a few words, and all of a sudden you have this beautiful image. It's like, I don't know. So I'll create some art for this. And actually whatever like full name that we create for the summit, for the retreat. You know, I love coming up with names. I love wordplay. I know you do too, Joanne. Yeah, we can just create some really beautiful um, marketing ideas, and then you know, I'm happy to put it into a painting, and then you know, we can just market the heck out of it. Because what I'd like to do is create a visual that is so it pulls you in. It's just like, what is that? And then enough people send it out that it becomes this thing that just goes viral. It goes, you know,
Sure.
anything that we do, I think, you know, once we come together and kind of a agreement about what it is we're doing, we're just going to make it viral. You know,
Yeah.
that is one thing it's funny. I haven't tried to make anything viral, but I think that I'm pretty good at,
Yeah, let's try and make something
yeah,
go viral.
just, yeah, it's just a matter of like
And if
figuring
the
out the
idea
algorithm.
is like, yeah, and if the idea itself is like for the individual to also like copy and do their own of it, I think makes it even more
Yeah.
apt to go viral. Yeah.
Well, there's a very
About
specific
making more
algorithm in
retreats
X.
in
Yeah.
like yeah, in your neighborhood. And like I said this before, you know, starting a business, a retreat business for your grandmother down the street that is fabulous at making donuts, you know, and you come and you stay in the community and you over a weekend learn how to make donuts and you really like going back to this kind of like homestay feeling and doing retreats like in the neighborhood, I think is such a cool idea.
Hmm.
Another artist friend of mine in Montreal is kind of doing that. She's an artist. She doesn't have her stuff in a lot of galleries. I mean, she has her stuff in some, but she made her home her gallery, and one day a week she opens up the gallery to the public, and she also does
Love that.
workshops at the same time. She has a little space in her home that's like carved out for doing that, and people can come and like spontaneously engage in the materials like right there over the on that day that she has her open house. So really cool ideas like that. And I mean, I can even see her starting something like bigger of that if she gets enough interest in it, of someone like what we're doing, like what you're saying, that wants to come and actually create something and learn from her and engage more and have that, draw out over a week, and she stays somewhere down the road at a little B&B. I don't know how all of these things happen, but these are like just ideas right now, and these are the kind of experiences we want to help people provide for people to experience, so that when you travel, you're not just going into the city and doing the usual tourist things. You're actually engaging with people who are creating something.
Yeah,
And
and imagine having a Mother Spirit community, like any place that you go to travel and planning
oh
your
my
travel
gosh,
around, being part of a Mother
yeah,
Spirit community, and then you're automatically just welcomed in homes. And you do the
right.
same when people are in your area. Yeah.
This what I miss so much of traveling. I'm just like, and I feel lucky right now, where we're staying. It's actually with a family. I mean, I didn't know them until I got here, but they leave us treats on the doorstep. And, like we
Oh,
really feel they give us rides into town. Like they're really open and friendly like that. And it's just like more of
yes,
that
more
kind
of
of
that.
feeling. But even more, like even more so that kind of ahead of time of what the personality is. Like my friend who's an artist, you know that you're going to go there to paint, and I'm like a plasma cycler. I would love to stay with other people or nearby other people that practice that too, so that I have someone like that I can relate to, like in the flesh, like you meet up with people who have the same passions and lifestyle practices as you do, like yoga, be able to go two doors down the street and do a yoga session with someone. It's not necessarily that you're in their home. It's just, where are these people and what are they doing, and how can we connect each other to share more?
Absolutely. Music to my
Yeah.
ears.
Yeah.
Um,
So we're like well over an hour now.
oh,
So
okay.
let's wrap it up
Okay.
for today, shall we? And
Okay.
we'll continue next week, and I'm sure we'll have our own little offline
Yeah, I'll definitely
discussion
check
this
in
week.
once I have more information from Joanne about what our options are, and then maybe we can
Yeah, and I
agree
would
to
love
a
to have
certain.
if you can create a little visual, like a bird's eye view
Oh,
of
yes,
the
yes, yes,
property
yes, yes, yes. Thank you
that we
for
could
reminding me.
share. Yeah,
Yeah,
that we could share. I mean, whenever you have it ready, I'm sure the viewers would
yeah,
love to see that. And
absolutely. Yeah, I'd love to see it too, just to help with
that
my
might be part
planning
of our
process.
little brochure that we make up for the event.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Um. All
So
right. This is
thanks
all good.
everyone for tuning in. I don't know if everybody's still there that
Can you
participated
not
in the
tell how many
chat.
people are still?
Yeah, well, there's 13 people still watching right now at the
Oh.
moment, I think. I mean, I don't know if that's over multiple platforms or
Mhm.
whatever,
Okay.
but James came in, Eric, Marilyn, and Fiona, and Keys to My Heart, and everybody that participated today. If I missed you, thank you so much
Yeah. Thank
for
you so
joining
much for
us.
joining.
And yeah, well, let's see where this
Let's go
conversation
create
takes
something
us.
beautiful together.
Yeah, let's do it. And if anybody wants to hop in on the call with us and actually like be up here on the stage with us, let us know, and we can make that happen. If you have something to contribute, that would be wonderful.
Yay. All right. Well, I can't remember. I don't need to do anything.
No, You don't need to
Okay.
do anything, and that's Fiona's or Sienna's website if anybody wants to
Oh, I haven't
contact
updated it in
her.
a
It
very
could
long
be
time, so don't go on there
challenging.
yet.
She it's best to find her on X, I guess. We should get
Yeah.
your handle for that and get it up here. I haven't done that yet.
Sienna
Or
Fawn John.
put your X link on your website. That might be a good way to do
Yeah,
it.
yeah, that's true. I haven't really
And
marketed
if you go
myself.
to my website, you can find my YouTube, my Telegram, my Twitter, all of my things are there and how to contact me if you want to get in touch. And if you have a hard time getting in touch with Sienna, you can do that through me if you need to.
Yeah, I'm not the greatest to get a hold of actually. Just a crazy life. But okay, this is awesome. I will update my website today too. I will call Joanne. I'm going to do the drone's eye view, and
Yeah.
I'm going to update my website. Okay.
Yeah, get your Twitter handle on your
Yeah,
website.
you're right. I know.
That's your top to-do
I'm
list.
slacking,
Just-
slacking.
okay,
All right.
thanks everyone.
Thanks. Bye.